Hello there, this is Mark Smith with Family Tree Counseling Associates. I'm going to be speaking with you today on the subject Narcissistic Abuse is Soul Murder and Heart Rape. So you might think that maybe I'm being a little bit overly dramatic, calling it narcissistic abuse, likening it to soul murder and heart rape. But I am not being overly dramatic. Narcissistic abuse syndrome is a wicked, nasty, overwhelmingly excruciating condition that probably is at the root cause of a vast number of suicides. It is a condition that flies underneath the radar that I would think has a lot to do with drug abuse and alcohol abuse. The best way I can describe narcissistic abuse syndrome, the impact and the violence that's done to your soul, pardon my language, but the best way I can say it is a cruel, shocking mind fuck, where due to your unresolved childhood issues, you invite somebody into your life who misrepresents themselves, who lies, who uses, who manipulates, who doesn't have a conscience, who is unable to love, and then one day you outlive your usefulness and they discard you like yesterday's garbage. It's a cruel, shocking mindfuck. It's violence to your soul, violence to your spirit, violence to your sexuality, violence to everything that's sacred within you. One of the things that is the most painful about narcissistic abuse syndrome is the sense of powerlessness. Horrible, destructive things have been going on behind your back, and then horrible, violating, abusive things go on to your face, and you really have no legal recourse. A friend of mine was telling me that in Great Britain they're starting to make emotional abuse a crime, and my God, it should be a crime. I have mixed feelings about it because my belief is in love relationships that we are ultimately responsible for our love relationships, that we recruit bad actors because we were raised by bad actors. This soul murdering, heart raping experience is very physiological. Those of you who have watched my videos, you'll hear some things that I've shared in the list, but it bears repeating for people who haven't watched those videos. You'll probably pace the room because you'll be so filled with anxiety. Your hands might tremble. You will have panic attacks. You might have pain in your chest. You will have trouble sleeping. You will either lose your appetite or begin to binge eat to numb pain. Your chest will get tight, and breathing, you'll have to make a real dedicated effort to breathe in a meditative way that is really, really helpful to your system. You will experience identity erosion, where everything you know about yourself, everything you know about this person, and even what you know and believe about the world will all be changed. And you will have to reinvent yourself from the ground up. I was just working with a young woman who's gone through this, and that's what she said. She said, I don't know who I am, and I feel lost. I don't know where to go because I don't know who I am. Everything I've read says that if you experience a shattering, that you're looking at anywhere from 12 to 24 months before you are better than ever. It's been over 8 months for me, and I'm not going to be healed in 12 months. I know that. 24 months is optimistic. But you can and will get better as you just put one foot in front of another. And the main thing is learning about Narcissistic Abuse Syndrome. That was the turning point for my recovery, because it pulled everything together and it helped everything to make sense. After your soul has been murdered and your heart has been raped, you're probably going to have a difficult time functioning. I could not work for over 2 months. I set an alarm. I apologize. I could not work for over 2 months, and I could barely work for another 3, because you have such exhaustion. And in my case, I'm a therapist that works with infidelity issues, and that made it extra hard in terms of triggers coming up. So I used the phrase heart rape. And for normal people, making love is making love. It's not a physical act, it's sacred. It's about your heart. Your body is an extension of your heart. But for a borderline or somebody with antisocial personality, a sociopath, a psychopath, a narcissist, their heart is not connected to their body. Sex is a commodity. You are a commodity to be consumed or discarded. And they use you for money. They use you for sex. They use other people for sex. And when you find out that this person who idealized you and you idealized them, that they've been having sex with other people, many times it's multiple people, you feel raped. This is not your normal breakup, folks, what I'm talking about. Everybody breaks up and it hurts. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being involved with a con woman or a con man who's highly manipulative, highly destructive, who mind fucks you into oblivion. And that is beyond excruciating. I want to encourage you to not talk about this to unsafe people, which is almost everybody. I talk about this to my family sometimes, and they interrupt me and try to instruct me how I'm wrong. And it's a bad idea. Or they look at me like I'm nuts. I talk about it with some of my staff. They look at me like I'm nuts. So find a therapist who advertises themselves as an expert in narcissistic abuse syndrome, and you won't find many. And then go meet with them for an initial session and discover if they truly do understand this syndrome, because it will make all the difference in the world if you're truly supported by somebody who understands this, preferably somebody who's gone through it. Having said all this about soul murder and heart rape, I gotta say, I still don't believe that there are people victimized in relationships. There are people brutalized, but the reason I say that we're not victimized is we picked these out. These people are hand-selected, and your mind doesn't know that they're a hurtful, lying, using, cheating psychopath, but your heart knows. And that's why you like them. And the purpose of love and marriage and dating is to tear down your psychological defense mechanisms and to reach you, to give you an opportunity to do the work. So we need to get to a place not of bitterness and hatred, but of gratitude, because we are being given an opportunity to heal deeper and more completely than we've ever healed in our entire lives. During the holidays, I typically stay up late and eat too much food, don't exercise as much, and don't have as much alone time or time to meditate or time to reflect. I've done that this holiday season. I'm paying the price. You are fragile, and your coping abilities are on the edge. And if you miss a couple nights sleep, you drink too much, you eat too much, you could crash and burn big time. So I just want to encourage extreme self-care always. There's a term used in these circles for when you're discarded by a narcissist, and that's the grand finale. These people, they don't break up, they stage a production. They want you to hurt, and they want to enjoy it. They want it to be nasty, public, and as vindicating of them and destructive to you as possible. The grand finale. These people are manipulators. They recruit people. They fill them with lies. They triangle to them. The term that's used is flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz. I love that, and it's really accurate. You might be surrounded by people with agendas, and for the most part, they're safe people, but some narcissist in your life is whispering in their ear like the devil, and this person may not be as safe as you think, and they might be an extension of the narcissist or the narcissist flying monkey. So I used to view the world in a very, pasty clean, innocent, naive way where there were no users or predators or parasites or monsters or vampires or narcissists or even borderline sociopaths and psychopaths. There were psychopaths in the movie. In the movies, you go to the movies, there's, mass murderers and, scary bad actors. But the truth is, as high as 15% of the population in our culture has some form of sociopathic tendencies or psychopathic tendencies where they're not hooked up to their heart. They are users. They are wicked people who will rip your heart out and dance on it and then laugh about it. People used to tell me years ago that they were afraid to get on Match.com, and I thought, what's to be afraid of? Well, I found out. What's to be afraid of is opening your heart to somebody who is an expert manipulator and an expert liar who is just dangerous. So I'm suggesting recovery for this syndrome, and recovery, it begins when your walls are down. And those of you who've been shattered, your walls are not only down, they're shattered into a billion pieces. So the first order of business is putting your walls back up enough to where you function better. You do this by self-care, going to therapy, exercising, yoga, meditation, massage, cutting back your work hours, medication, anything that works, do it. This is, you're fighting for your life. Get your walls back up to where you're functioning better. The second thing is gaining insight. And I hope these videos are helpful in that regard to help you piece together who you are, where you came from, and exactly what happened to you. If you were betrayed by a self-centered, oblivious, using, parasitic person, then you have experienced narcissistic abuse syndrome. That is what you have. Google it and watch videos until your eyes bleed. The third thing is what I call deep processing. And that is crying deeply, deeply in millions of tears from that wounded little kid within you. I don't cry that much anymore. When I first got this, when I cry, I sounded like a little kid. My voice would change. It was sort of spooky. My voice would change, and the little boy would come out, little boy. And that still happens maybe once a week for 30 seconds, but it was happening for, hours a day in the beginning. That's how you heal. Your walls get taken down, which is a gift and a blessing, ultimately. You gain insight after you've rehabilitated your walls enough to where you function well. The lights go on. You find out about psychopathology and psychopaths, psychopathic behavior that results in abuse and damage and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And then the fourth thing is you rebuild your life and you thrive. And I'm just getting a taste of thriving, and I love it. And I'm starting to get a little bit of momentum, and you will too. Recovery is bigger than narcissistic abuse syndrome. And I just encourage you to continue to watch videos, read the book Psychopath Free by Jackson McKenzie, and go to the website familytreecounseling.com. There's books on there that can be helpful. Go to YouTube. You're already maybe at YouTube right now, and watch all the videos that we have on this subject. So I hope this has been helpful. I've got more coming that will connect you. I love that there's a community around this issue, and that we care about and we support each other. Thank you for watching, and God bless.